Guys, I want to point something out. If you are not an annual elite member, we got something great. So, Dr. Kenneth Reed, we had a meeting with him earlier this week, and realizing that the market is going down and it can be difficult, if not frightening for some, he offered to step in and do something. Now, we cannot, no, I have not sold a single share of my clothes, Kenneth. To answer your question. So anyway, this is for new elite annual memberships effective yesterday when it was announced, or maybe Wednesday. Unfortunately, we can't make it retroactive for others, but you get a free one-on-one coaching session with Dr. Kenneth Reed, psychology, and he's a trader. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. So that's an awesome thing to add on to the annual elite. So if you've ever thought about upgrading to the annual elite, I think there's a great opportunity to do so. Anyway, this guy's going to regret that. Well, he offered. We didn't ask him to. He actually offered on his own. So anyway, that is what I got. Take care. Peter, you want to take it away, brother?
Sure. Let
do
me
some
just,
levels. You guys have an awesome day.
Indeed.
Jared, if you want to hop in, go for it. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend. Trade safe. Be smart. Yeah, I was supposed to be trading and having a normal day today, but I was supposed to do this sailing. Supposed to go sailing on Sunday, and it got canceled. So I've got to make up my qualification deal today. So take care, y'all. Have a great one.
All right, thanks, Norm. Hello to everybody on YouTube. We've got that rolling now. A few technical difficulties. Even on my side, it was funny. Well, it was sort of funny for me because I was like, oh my, now we have like Inception going on here. Hold on. Screenception. Because I was, I'm like, I'll jump in and save the day. And that didn't quite work out. So we're running a little rough today. Let's see here.
Peter just wanted to confirm. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
All right.
And hello, Jared.
Well, we've had a total of 4 mods on the pre-market show. So
yeah,
see if we can get those numbers even higher as we hot swap mods.
You've really had like 2 3/4. You've got you two, which I'll give a whole unit to. You've got Carlos, which this morning I give about 25% to, or 25 bips, and then me is really like half a mod the way I was doing that, but it's the best I could do on such short notice. So you guys have fun. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Norm.
Thanks, Norm.
Have fun yourself.
Oh my goodness, it's well, you know what? Maybe we're just getting all of these challenges out of the way so that we can just have a flawless trading morning. I can only hope so. Anyways, one of the tickers that someone had suggested I saw in the room was Lulu. We didn't look at that up front, but yeah, they had surprisingly good numbers. Now, it's not typically a good trader. Why am I not getting details on it? There we go. So pre-market, I mean, it looks terrible, but it always does. I don't usually trade it because I don't find it moves that great once the open hits. But if you've got the right strategy, it could be great for you. So here's what I've got on my list. This AMLX. I didn't actually look up what the news was on that, and I missed it if Norm said it, but it is certainly moving with some volume. KSS, Tesla, Apple, MU, AMD, and Lulu is all I've got. So if you got something else, either here or on YouTube, then let me know, and we might take a look at it. I see Indigenous Pathways on YouTube is telling us that it had FDA news. So they're being given extra time for their drug application. I guess that's a good thing. Raise the question why they needed extra time. Anyways, but it is spiking up. So let's take a look at setting some levels. I will do some levels off the daily chart that I've got here. We'll get going with that. Again, if you guys have something else that you want to take a look at. I see people mentioning CHGG. Let me just add that to my list quickly. What does that look like? Does not look good pre-market.
The pre-market doesn't look good. I think more interesting is the gap, and the gap up on the morning and then the gap on the daily. So
Yeah,
if that one does get some volume, it's in an interesting location.
So if you look at my daily chart here, this is what Jared's talking about. So it's moved, it's gapped this morning, but that's put it into a range where there was a previous gap here back right at the beginning of May. So being that it's in that zone, that actually, I would agree with Jared, it absolutely does make it interesting. So let's start right there. I'm going to mark the bottom and top of that gap here. So because the gap here, the low was 24.06, got a level there. The high of this was, or maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way around here, but the low of the gap, 21.08. You know what I mean? The boundary conditions for the gap. So $21 to $24 basically is what we're talking about here. 21.08. All right, put that level in. So it's in there now, and yeah, this will be a zone of sort of light volume, so we'd be expecting to fill that gap if it does get some legs and moves up. If it comes back down to 21, we may see it drop below that and struggle to get back up into the gap. So was there news on CHGG, Jared?
I'm looking up that now. Give me a second. Look like anything coming up specifically for it.
Okay.
They do have a potential stock buyback.
Okay.
That was posted about 2 hours ago. Yeah, about a 1 billion increase in their buyback program, so that's probably enough to get it going.
Yeah, I mean, it's not usually huge news, but it could be enough in this day, especially being a NYSE stock. So we'll have to see. This is one of those, as soon as I see NYSE, low volume, like we're only talking 27,000 shares, so it's not going to hit our gappers list. We're playing it just based off of the pattern on the daily chart. So, that's legitimate, and, it may yet move. So let's go through our list and set levels on the rest of the stuff, starting with AMLX, gapping up here almost 40%, 39.3% so far. I see a level here back in April where it where it last was high around $14, $14.40. So let me just put a level right at $14.40. I want to watch that. If it gets up above that, it had some volume that traded hands back earlier this year. Where is this? 16 is sort of that next level, so I'll keep an eye on those areas in case AMLX decides it's going to run today. That could be the opportunity. Already 3.5 million shares almost, so there's interest. So I would expect this one to move. KSS we talked about on buyout suitors that are out there. I don't think they actually received an offer, but there was talk against it. I know they haven't accepted an offer anyways. The rumors were at $55 and $60 that I saw, so that gives us some upward movement. But I've got some levels that I had previously set. You can see here already at 53, 62. I mean, those are way up above the current price, which is sitting around 42.5. So there's a little bit of a gap on the chart here that I might keep an eye on around $45. Top end of that is here just over 46. So I'll just see if the price gets up in there. Maybe worth watching. I don't have high hopes for KSS. This, like CHGG, is absolutely one that I would just keep an eye on in case it starts to move once the market opens, or frankly, like right before the market open, right? We're 9/11. The last 10 minutes before the open can sometimes sort of tell you what's going to happen once the bell rings. Tesla does look good. As we mentioned, news on Elon. Leaked, well, I'm not sure if they're purposely leaked anymore, but somehow every notice he sends to his management team ends up publicly available, saying that he's concerned about a really bad economy and looking at potential layoffs. So that's got Tesla down, and that will certainly have a drag on the broader, I think, economy and markets, and maybe that's partly what we're seeing this morning with the market down overall 1% or so. So for levels on Tesla, we have the lows of yesterday, first place to watch since we're sitting sort of within yesterday's range. If we get below that, personally, I'm going to watch this level here back in April, $680 exactly. So I'm going to put a level right there. That whole number is definitely something I would think is worthwhile to keep an eye on. But that is almost $60 away from where we're sitting right now. So keep that in mind. I don't have anything between here and there. If we go to the upside, well, first port of call would be the high of yesterday, but I don't know that we're going to get a lot of upside on this. Apple is, I put it on my list because, again, they're almost 3 million shares. And they're moving. They've actually been pretty good, I've found anyways, sort of at the open. Sitting within the range. We've sort of been in this range for the last 4 days almost. And we're still within that. So highs and lows of the previous 2 days are something to keep an eye on. I happen to have a daily level up at the top at 152. And then down below, I guess I'd be watching... Well, if we break through this range, well, the low of yesterday sets the low end of this range in immediate term. This candle back here on the 27th of May, 145.26 is a place I personally would keep an eye on. So I'm just going to try and set a level at 145.26. And that'll be enough for me to watch. If it does something else, I will go back and revisit. MU, we mentioned, is starting to move a little bit to the downside. Really been sort of a choppy daily, certainly in a range. So here is the range to watch, right? High of yesterday was actually the close, and then we're coming down off of that close, which is almost exactly 75.41 is that level. And then I've got a low end on this range way down here at 65.90-ish, 66. Maybe I'll put this at 66 to keep an eye on. I don't like personally trading MU because if I'm going to trade that sector, I'll go to AMD. Nobody who knows me should be surprised at that. AMD had a great day yesterday. A lot of move to the upside. I tried to take it short into the close, and it didn't work out that well. I basically took a partial and got stopped out. But we're within the range of yesterday's movement. So I honestly think today we're going to stay within that range. We're at the top end of it. So far, the markets are looking a little weak. So if that continues, I can just expect us to sort of sell off within that range. That gives us about $4 or $5 really to play with. So we'll see what happens. Lulu, we already mentioned. Here, if it does decide to go to the upside on that positive news, 316.50 is a place to watch. 316.49 to be specific. I will watch that to the top side. On the downside, we have the highs of yesterday and the day before to keep an eye on. And CHGG we already looked at. So, I see somebody mentioning Twitter. All right. Let's take a look at Twitter. Twitter. Can I type? There. Well, 1.2 million shares traded. It's up. I'm surprised Twitter is up. I thought it would be moving down with the market. Is there something interesting happening on Twitter?
Nothing of high significance. There's a little bit of, I would say, like PR discussion, but nothing that's like a main catalyst that I see.
Okay.
I am looking to see what caused that spike, though.
Well, excuse me. Okay, well, maybe if you find that out, you can let me know. So Twitter, yeah, you know what? I already have some levels set. Oh, echo. All right, I already have some levels set on that.
It looks as if the chat room is saying the wait period is over for the Elon purchase.
Oh, I see. What does that mean? That means he's out or he's in?
Yes.
Yes, it means he's either out or in. Okay, well, maybe Twitter will be something to watch today. I'll add it to the list here and we can keep an eye on it. Yeah, what the heck, right? As soon as you say Elon, especially if he's tweeting about something completely unrelated, but if he's thinking the economy is going to be down, that may make him more likely to abort on this deal. So we'll see what happens. Maybe Twitter will be in play. Keep an eye on it. Okay. We'll add that to the list. What else have people got? I'm seeing people mention all the stuff we're already looking at. Okay, well then let's see what since we're a little more than quarter after, let's see what our moderators are watching. And to do that, I will try not to create some screenception here again, but it's probably going to happen. All right. So here's what our gappers list looks like from the room so far. Mike on his watch list has got Boeing. We didn't look at that. Maybe that's something to take a look at. AMD and MU. Dima's watching Oxy. I think Dima's been watching Oxy quite a bit. Twitter, AMD, and Apple. Brian is coming in with Micron, KSS, Novavax, NVAX, ASAN, AFRM, and AMLX. Megan is just watching Apple and the Qs. I'm probably going to keep an eye on AMD, of course. I think I'll watch Tesla and Twitter because they look interesting. KSS may make some moves once the open happens. And then, frankly, I'm going to watch Brian to see what he does because he often has some interesting calls where we could take advantage of. So that's what I'll be watching. On the IPO front, I haven't had a chance to post it yet. But the only thing I've got listed for IPOs, well, not sort of, but completely ironically, is this SVRE. I don't know what the heck is going on with this. I have never seen this before. This is now the 9th day it's been listed. It wasn't listed for the last 2 days, but they just kept throwing it up here, and then every day they would move back the date. So I don't know what's going on with this offering, but one of these days it'll open, and frankly, it'll probably be a complete dud because they've just been saying it's going to open for so many times, people probably don't care anymore. But anyways, it's the only thing I've got, and I've got no SPACs listed today. So that's it. I see that people are calling out some other stuff that's moving. Let's just take a quick look. Roblox, what's it doing? Not much. 400,000 shares. It's really been in a sort of a downtrend, but a flat downtrend over the last little while, so that's looking not so good. TPTX. Okay.
That's the buyout.
That's a buyout? Okay, that makes sense. It's totally flat here. I could just see it leapt up, and then now it's been totally flat all pre-market, so not much of interest there. Obviously, the buyout is somewhere around $74, I'm assuming, because it's hovering just below that.
One note for today, it's kind of a general note. Bond market is down currently. We're starting off with a pretty weak session in the pre-market. Means that interest rates are spiking again, and with some of the relative weakness, that could easily force sort of a general, bearish kind of lean today. It's a little challenging, like you said, with everything basically within yesterday's range. And yesterday was inherently a trend day for most of the midday session. There wasn't a lot of support added on the way up. So, a return back into the range can actually fall pretty hard and fast if there's no continual buyers to support it. Some levels on the Qs that I'll be looking at is things like 308.75. And I think the tech sector is going to be key today with the bond market in play.
There you go. Some news from Jared. Somebody's mentioning Amazon. Yeah, Amazon's got that 20-for-1 split happening on Monday. I don't think... Yesterday we saw some movement on Amazon. I honestly don't think there's going to be a lot of movement on it today. Usually any large institution that's going to be making a move, they won't wait until the day before. So I don't know. I could be wrong, but I just don't think there's going to be a lot of movement. Monday should be interesting. That's when we'll start to see some interest because the price will suddenly be so much more affordable, and I think we'll see some interest there. Last couple of moderators are coming in. Thor with his watch list, Apple, Twitter Spy, and this pivot alert spot, which is actually pretty cool. It uses the pivots, the Camarilla pivots, and it gives automatic sort of alerts of stocks that are hitting pivot levels. It's got some great calls every day, so it might be worth watching if you're interested. You can get it on Twitter at the Pivot Alerts bot that Thor's posted here. We also actually repost those right into the room, so if you're a member, you see those pop right up in the chat stream. So keep an eye on that. And then Eamon is looking at potentially AAL if it sets up for him later today. Other than that, he's got nothing on his list, and he trades very differently. So it's good to sort of watch what he does. A very different approach. So with that, guys, thank you for sticking with us. It's been a little bit tumultuous and crazy here this morning. So hopefully we got all that out of our system so we can have a decent trading morning. Jared, thanks for jumping on and helping out. And
you're very welcome.
I hope that Norm has a good sailing day, and I hope that Carlos figures out whatever wire was loose or whatever the heck happened over at his side. It was going a little wonky. So with that, I will see you guys later this afternoon as we head into the close, as I always do. And throughout the day, we have our slate of fun and exciting characters to keep you company in the trading room. So hopefully we'll see you in the room. Take care. To our friends on YouTube who stuck it out, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Monday, fingers crossed, I'll be back to normal with a regular week, regular show, regular activities. So take care, everybody. Have a great weekend, and trade safe. Maybe what I'll do is what Carlos always does on a Friday. You do not want to go into this weekend having traded poorly. Follow your strategy. If you don't see anything that sets up, don't chase anything. The last thing you want to do is spend your weekend beating yourself up over bad trading, right? Trade smart. Win or lose, at least you can go into the weekend saying, I traded against my strategy and I held waiting for the right opportunity. So trade safe, everybody, and we'll see you later.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.